Today, we're talking about something huge, how you can basically win in business before you even begin. And no, it's not magic. It's all about having an unbeatable strategy right from the get-go. The idea is that victory is all about insight. It's about knowing the playing field, the battlefield, better than anyone else out there. So that sounds great, but how do you actually get that crystal clear vision? It's not like you have a crystal ball, right? Well, the answer is a process, a really foundational one that every great product manager lives and breathes. And that process? It's called market research. Think of market research as your strategic compass. It's what stops you from just building something you think is cool and instead helps you build something that people actually need and, will open their wallets for. It helps you understand your competition and, maybe most importantly, spot the next big trend before it's even a thing. Okay, so our first major step is all about mapping the competitive landscape. I mean, it makes sense, right? You can't just jump into a game and expect to win if you don't even know who the other players are or what the rules are. So, first things first, let's get one thing straight. When we say competitive intelligence, a lot of people think of, spying or something shady. But that's not it at all. What it really is structured learning. It's a systematic way of understanding what's going on in your market. And here's the key. It's what you do with that learning that counts. Your goal here is to figure out who you're really up against, what they're offering, and here's the exciting part, to find those white spaces. The gaps where customers have needs that just aren't being met. That, right there, is where the gold is. And you don't have to just, keep all this in your head. There are simple but super powerful frameworks to help you organize your thoughts. A classic one is SWOT analysis. It helps you lay everything out, right? Your own strengths and weaknesses on one side and the opportunities and threats you just found in the market on the other. Super clear.
Okay, so we've mapped the world around us. We know the players. Now let's zoom in, way in, to the single most important part of this whole equation, the customer. Because let's be real, they're the reason we're doing any of this. So who are you really building for? If your answer is everyone, well, that's probably the worst answer you can give. To build something people truly love, you can't be vague. You have to get super specific. And you do that by slicing up the market into focused, manageable groups. Product managers use these lenses here all the time to take a huge, kind of scary market and break it down. Are we talking about age and job? Or where people live? Maybe it's about their habits, or even their personal values. This is how you start to zero in on who really matters. But here's the thing. Data by itself, it's just numbers on a page. It's abstract. If you want to build something with real empathy, you have to do something more. You have to make it human. And boom, here's a perfect example of what that looks like. We're not just looking at our demographic anymore. We have a persona. We're not building for some vague 25 to 30-year-old tech worker. No, we're building for Lena. We know she's a UX designer. We know she hates repetitive tasks. We know she values clean design. See how that changes everything? It's personal now. All right, so now that we have someone like Lena in our sights, the next question is obvious. Just how big is this opportunity? How big is the playground we're about to jump into? Well, there's a neat little three-part framework for figuring that out. We start with the biggest, widest view possible, the total addressable market. Just think of this as the entire universe. It's literally everyone who could ever possibly use a product like yours. It's the dream, right? But let's be realistic. You can't reach the whole universe on day one. So we narrow it down. Step 2 is the serviceable available market. This is the chunk of that universe that you can actually reach with your product and your sales channels. It's the part of the map you can actually travel to. And then we get to the most important one, especially when you're starting out, the serviceable, obtainable market. This isn't the dream anymore. This is the plan. This is the piece of the pie you can realistically go after and win, like right now. It's your beachhead, your starting line. Seeing it laid out like this for, say, a note-taking app really makes it click, doesn't it? The total addressable market is huge, all productivity app users. Then, the serviceable available market narrows it down to knowledge workers. But the serviceable obtainable market, that's your specific, immediate target, remote professionals who speak English. See, we just went from this massive, vague idea to a super clear, actionable goal. Okay, So let's recap. You've done the work. You've mapped a competition. You know exactly who your customer is. You've even figured out how big the prize is. But now comes the part that actually matters, turning all that research into results.
Because, let's be totally honest, research that just sits in a PowerPoint deck, it's useless. It's worse than useless. It's just expensive noise. Every single thing you learn has to lead to a decision. It has to lead to an action.
And this simple 3-step path is how you do it. It's a loop. You start with an insight, something you learned, like, hey, users think our sign-up is way too confusing. That leads directly to a decision. Okay, let's simplify the process. But you can't stop there. You have to tie it to a metric. We're going to measure if this change increases our conversion rate. See that? Insight, decision, metric. That's how you turn research into real, measurable growth.
And that awesome little feedback loop, well, it's getting supercharged. Because today, you don't have to do all this work by hand anymore. AI is totally changing the game, making it way faster to get from a mountain of data to a clear, actionable insight. Just think about it. In the past, a product manager might have to spend weeks, literally weeks, reading through thousands of user reviews. Now, you can just ask an AI a direct question like this one. What are the biggest unmet needs people are complaining about? And you get a summary in seconds. This is a complete game changer for finding those white spaces we were just talking about. So let's wrap this all up. I want you to think about your absolute favorite product, the one you use every day. I guarantee you its success was not an accident. It comes from a deep, almost unfair advantage in understanding the market, the competition, and yeah, understanding you. And they got that understanding way before a single line of code was ever written. So the final question is, what's the secret you're going to discover before you start building?